Raman, is there anything that you would like to add at this point?
I guess I have a question. How does this apply to substance abuse?
Excellent question. This is very, very useful when it comes to any kind of substance abuse or addiction. The problem is that sometimes we think that we need to be free from the desire in order to be healthy or well, or to have a sense of choice or a sense of control over our choices. And we don't have to wait for a desire to not be there once we understand the function of a want, right, which is to move a desire into action. So I can have, just like the example of the person, the diabetic with the cheesecake, they had this immense desire for the cheesecake, and yet they didn't want to have it in order to experience the greater good as they saw, which was to be healthy and to reduce their everyday suffering. So when it comes to addiction, we don't have to wait for the desire to disappear. The desire will diminish over time if we don't reinforce the desire through acting on it. Desires will fade when we don't move them into the realm of a want. Okay? So let's say I have a problem with alcohol, and I've joined AA and I'm doing fine. A couple months has gone by, and then all of a sudden I just have this situation, and I have this burning desire for a drink to help bring my feelings down. Well, number one, the feeling is not the problem. To take the drink is to short circuit the intelligence system of the body, brain, and universe, as we know from chapter 1. You know, that function of the feeling that I get, the uncomfortable feeling is not the problem. The thinking is the problem. I need to change the thoughts. Somehow I have a distortion in my brain in terms of how I'm perceiving things. So the thing is, I can observe the desire knowing that the next step is, what do I want? And to ask myself, what do I want? Just because the desire is there does not mean I have to put it into action. No, I do not. I can make the assessment of what is truly in my best interest. And I might decide, I want the pleasure of this moment. And then I can ask that third question at the end of it. Does this contribute to my well-being and the well-being of those around me to take this drink right now? And if I'm being honest and I listen to my own internal felt sense, the answer will be no. And then the next question is, well, then what does contribute to my well-being and the well-being of those around me? And it's to choose or want another action, another activity. It could be to call my sponsor. It could be to go have 3 glasses of water instead, and to change the biology of my body. Or whatever else I have on my list of alternatives to a drink. Right? So the critical thing is to recognize that just because the desire is there does not mean that there's something wrong in me or bad in me or faulty in me. The main importance here is, what do I choose? What do I want? And what's the basis of that choice? I have an example of a woman I was working with an eating problem, and she would tell me, well, I gave in and I had a cookie, and I thought, oh, I might as well have the rest of it. And I said, well, wait a minute. Does it contribute to your well-being of those around you to have the rest of it? No, then what does? Right? Just because you change the desire into a want in that instant or that moment doesn't mean that you have to. Certainly doesn't mean you have. It doesn't mean that it's beneficial to have that second cookie or that third cookie. Each instant is an opportunity to say, this is the desire, what do I actually want, what is truly in my best interest.
Wow, thank you for answering that. It also takes out the shame aspect.
Oh, definitely, yes. Because
Right.
we don't choose our desires. So, yes, there is no shame there.
Right.
And by the way, if there was shame, that's the good thing. Because
Right.
if I just stop on the shame, that's the conclusive thinking. But if I say, oh, there's shame here, what is that telling me about my thought, and what do I need, and how do I trampoline this into some process movement? Right? So desire fits right in there, like
Right.
that we don't stop on the desire conclusively and say, because I have the desire, I'm weak or I'm bad. No,
Right.
it's all conclusive thinking, and by definition, false.
Right.
I know it's true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was beautifully answered.